So, as promised, today we will install the CB1, which is the module developed by BIGTREETECH. Together with the CB1, I did decide to buy the passive heatsink that BIGTREETECH sells for this module. So this is the heatsink. Okay, it's made of aluminum. With the heatsink, you will get 4 screws and 1 thermal pad. For the CB1, as usual, the rubber duck, and it comes the CB1, and you will receive as well the antenna. I already placed the antenna, and for this board, and on the other side you can see the board-to-board connection. Okay, you also have here the Wi-Fi module. Okay, so any of the boards, or the CB1 or the ones that are compatible as the Raspberry Pi CM4, all them bring the Wi-Fi module. So let me bring here the Manta. Okay. Something that I need to point is that to install the board, you have to always point the Wi-Fi module to the left side of the board. Okay. So here where we have the X, the Wi-Fi module should point that way. Okay. To place the board is simple. Just try to align a bit over the screw holes, and then apply a bit of pressure. Okay. The board is very well secured without screws, so you will not need any screws. I will use the heatsink, so for this reason I must use the screws, of course. So you can see how the board will be with the heatsink. Will be something like this. Okay, for this installation today, we will need an SD card for the firmware and a micro SD card for the operating system. And we will start by the firmware. I will show you how to update the firmware on the board. Okay, so let's go to the desktop. This is the SD card. I have already opened all the links we will discuss here today. They will be available on the video description. And the first one is the BIGTREETECH GitHub. And here you go to repositories and look for Manta. The one we have is Manta M4P. I advise you to download the full package. For that, you go to Code, Download Zip. Okay, we're gonna open the folder and extract it. There we go. Inside this folder, we have the firmware. Go inside, then firmware, Klipper, and the file we need is this one, firmware-usb.pin. Okay, you can copy to the SD card, and once you copy it, you must rename it, because we need to remove the -USB. This is the way the file must stay. It's the only way the board will recognize the file and flash the firmware. So this is done. You can close everything. Let's go to the board again. So you place the SD card on the SD card slot over here. Now I'm gonna boot the board. I have the jumper to boot from the USB-C, okay? And you will see here is an LED. Okay, this LED is it will be hard to see on video, but will blink. Once it's blink, it's supposed to flash the board. Anyway, I usually do the reset at the end, because if for some reason it doesn't run the flash correctly, it will run then. So I prefer to do that. Okay, so let's boot up the board. And did flash. So now reset. It's okay. Power off. And let's confirm if the flash was done successfully. You will remove and go to the desktop again. Let's see. Okay. You can see now that the extension of this file has changed to cur. This means the board was able to read the file and flash the board. So we are good here. We can now go for the image for the Klipper. And for that, we go again to the GitHub repositories, and now CB1. You look for CB1. The image file is down here. Okay, this is where we're gonna download the file. So you click it, and if you go down a bit, the file we need for the image is this one. Okay, CB1 Debian 11 Klipper. Okay, this is the one. The minimal version don't have the Klipper. This is for you if you'd like to compile the firmware. You can go with this one. But today we will use the regular one. So I already have downloaded this file to speed up things. And you will need to install this file on the SD card. You will need the Raspberry Pi imager. Raspberry Pi imager. There you go. So I have already installed the Raspberry Pi imager, but if you don't have, you can go into the Raspberry Pi home page, software, and download. Okay. So once you have installed the Raspberry Pi imager, you go choose OS, go all down, use custom, select the image, open, choose storage. This is not the storage. Select the storage and then write. I will not do this because this takes some time, and I have already done it. I have already installed the image on the micro SD card. Once it's complete to write the image, you will see an image like this. Okay? To inform you that the image was right, and you can now remove the SD card from the reader. Okay? Once you see this image, you will remove the SD card and place it again on the computer. We need to change a file in there. So I will place now. There it is. Okay, this is my SD card. The file we need to edit or change is this one, system.cfg. If we open, we're gonna see what we need to change. We need to change the Wi-Fi information. So you need to place here your SSID, okay, and your password, of course. So I will do this now. Just give me a sec. Okay, my file is correctly. So now we can remove the SD card from the card reader and placed on the Manta. So you will place the card this way. It's spring loaded. Remember that. Make sure the card is well secured. And so now we're gonna boot the board. Here you have another LED. Once this LED starts to blink, usually means that it's almost ready. The boot is almost complete. Okay, just so that you know. It's normal for you to see the board and this light doesn't blink. It means it's booting. Okay, the first boot, it will take more time than the regular ones. So let's boot up the board and speak about on how to get the IP. So let me go back to the desktop. Now we need to know the IP address the CB1 will get. You have multiple ways to get the IP. One of them is by going directly to your router, and I will show you an example of my router. Okay. This is the page where it's showing me the DHCP clients. Okay, in this case, this is Wi-Fi, and in this list you don't see here now, but it should appear here the board. Okay, and from there I can copy the IP and go for the board. Another way you have is by using a software. Okay, you can use the Angry IP scanner. Is this one? This is free for Windows, for Linux, Windows, and Mac. So you can download this app, and you can try to find the IP. I will show you. So here it is. Oh, let me show you. Oh, is the LED on the board? So if you can see, this LED is blinking. This means that the bootloader or the part of the LANs are already up. So we are supposed to find the IP for the CB1. So in the Angry IP scanner, once you open, it automatically set the range of your LAN. Okay. So this is your LAN. Mine, this is a VLAN, so I have this range of IPs, but for you, it will appear automatically yours. So the only thing you need to do is click Start. I have made some changes. I have come to Tools. If I remember, Preferences. I think I changed something here. Display. Okay. Active hosts respond to ping only. Okay, so it will only show the ones that respond. The ones that will not respond will not appear here, to be a smaller list. Okay, so that will be the only difference. You click Start. This takes a minute, more or less, and let's see if the CB1 appears here. Okay, there it is. You can see here. Here is the CB1. As you can see, the host name of this board is BTT-CB1. You can look. You don't need this software. You can look directly from this name. Why? Because we did not change the host name in the image file. So BIGTREETECH has called the CB1 in the image. This name, give him is this call, BTT-CB1. So what this means is if you open a shell a command prompt and you try to ping BTT-CB1, it's supposed to respond. But it is not. Sorry. Okay, so if you do the name, let me clear this. There you go. So I'm trying to find the IP and I can find by the name. If I ping the name, I can the resolution of the name will grant me the IP. So this is the IP. If you try to ping this, it is the same. So this means we can now target the CB1 directly from the IP or the name. Okay, let's try it. HTTP. Sorry. Okay, we have Klipper, so this is good. This was by the IP. If you want to go by the name, you can go as well. There we are. So by the name or by the IP. Okay, we'll stick with the name. Simpler. So now we have we have Klipper. Okay, this is running, but as soon as the Klipper starts, it shows you an error. This error is informing you that the configuration file is not correct, doesn't exist, and it's true. Why? If you go to the machine, print config, you will see this file, generic BIGTREETECH XXX. Why? Because the image is the same for all the other versions of the Mantas, but the configuration file is different. That's why they didn't make one specific image only for this board and one for the other, because the base is the same for every single one. So we need to get the configuration file for this board. If we go to the folder we have downloaded, the master folder, okay, from that we download from GitHub, you go in here, Manta, firmware, Klipper. Okay, in here you will see two configuration files, .cfg, .cfg. This one is made specifically for Voron. Okay, we don't have a Voron, or I don't have a Voron, so I will stick with this one. This is the generic one. Okay, so you can drag and drop. Can let me pull here. Sorry. Okay, so you can pick the file and drop it here. There it is. You can upload it if you want to go by this way, but drag and drop works very well. So now we need to say on the configuration file here, we need to change this. We need to set the name of the file we have copied. So this one, right click, rename it, and copy the full name. Okay. Print configuration, and you will replace this one. There you go. Save and restart. Now this is take a while, because now it's trying to find the board. The problem is we need to do one more step here, but I want to show you the error that will appear here before continue. This will take a bit. I will start talking about the rest we need. So this will grant you a MCU error. Okay, why? Because we need the board serial. Okay, and for that we need to go to the Klipper website. Here, you go to installation and configuration, installation, and we need a piece of code from here. Here it is. So we need this ls dev serial yd and any. Okay, we will need this to pull the serial from the board. You can click here to copy it. Now let me see if there. No, it's not ready yet. We will need now the one SSH Emulator. I use Putty. Okay, there are many out there. You can use the one that you prefer. I will set here the host name or the IP, doesn't matter. BTT-CB1. CB1. The port is 22, and the conversion type is SSH. Okay. Open. Sorry. So once you enter, it will ask you for a username and password. Okay, for the SSH. The username and password is the same. BQ, and we are in. So the command we have copied from here, from Klipper installation guide, this one we copied, and we will use on the shell. But let me get back to the Klipper. You see, the MCU unable to connect once the underlying issue is corrected, use the firmware restart. So this is the problem. The MCU is not recognized because the configuration doesn't know the correct serial for the board. So that is what we're doing here now. So once we go back to the putty, we pass the command we copied from the from Klipper. Right click, now enter. This is your serial. Okay, so you will select everything, this line for complete, then hit Control C, or you can right click, is the same. Go back to your board, machine, we go machine, then we go to your file that we have copied earlier, go down and look for MCU. Fun MCU. Okay, this is the serial that is here. As you see, this STM32G0B1XX doesn't exist. Of course, we have to replace by the one we have copied. So there it is. And now save and restart. It's trying to restart. I usually do a reboot, but yeah, it's shutting down. And now this, look to this error. This is not an directly. This is not the same error we have before. This is telling you this generally occurs when the heater temperature exceeds its configured min temperature or max. This makes sense because we don't have. Let me show you. We don't have any thermistor installed, so that error is because we don't have any thermistor. So I will shut down the board. This is a good time to make a shutdown. This is something that I like to tell everyone. Try to avoid unplug the board directly from the PSU. Remember, this is a microcontroller with an SD card, and this is reading and writing all the time. Okay, so if you do a power cycle disconnect on the PSU, you probably will break the SD card. Okay, this is something that happens, and let me tell you, I have tried everything to recover the SD cards that I have with this problem, and it's impossible. They stay locked, and you can never recover them. So please remember that anything you want to do, if possible, try to reboot from the software or from the LCD. Try to go here and do a shutdown. Okay, this take a second. This is literally a second. You don't see anything here, but it's literally 1 second. You can now unplug. You can now unplug the power, and I will attach the thermistors. So one here and another one here. One for the heated bed and the other for the hot end. These are the thermistors I'm using now. You all know them. These are the regular one. Now that we have placed the thermistors, let's boot up the board again and see if the error has gone. Let's go to the desktop. Let's wait a second. And no error. So we are good here. It's very normal if we don't have the thermistors to show the temp error. But yeah, this was the problem. If I place my fingers over the thermistor, we must see the temperature rising. In this case, the heated bed is rising. You can see over here, and the graphic is showing as well. If we go to the hot end, if I find him, it's here. It's supposed to do the same. There you go. It's rising. So all this is working. Guys, I will now connect my HDMI directly to the board. I have not done this before because I did want to show you all that without an LCD, and I don't have an LCD for Manta, okay? I don't have a touch screen for Manta. But I did want to show you all that without an LCD, we can install the Manta without any problem. So I will shut down the board for a moment to connect my HDMI cable. And let's power on again. I use a USB video converter to link on the OBS, and this way I can show you what is supposed to appear on the LCD. Let's try again. Okay, so this is ready. Let's see on the other scene if we can check now. There it is. So this is the let me expand. This is what you can expect from from um, from an LCD. I can't do anything here. I can install. I can activate the mouse to work from my computer, of course, but that will stay for another time. We must install the screen libraries and activate the mouse pointer is possible. Okay, if you, let's suppose you have a LCD and you have broke the LCD for some reason, the touchpad stopped working, you can always add a wireless mouse, and from there you can at least do some things on the LCD. Okay, but yeah, this is how the LCD should appear on your machines. So, and with this is the end of my video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them in the comments. Um, in the video description, you will find all the links to the M4P installation and CB1. Now that I have the Manta with the Klipper, I will do some tests, of course, and I will show you in another video. Thank you, everyone. And as always, if you want to help the channel, please like and subscribe. See ya. Bye bye.